Due to the weather, I too am a late ringing on the eulogy list. For those of you I haven't met, I'm Pam, Maxine's youngest daughter. A couple of months ago, I asked my mother who she would like to give the eulogy at her funeral. She pointed at me. I had absolutely no intention of doing this, and I chalked her response down to my mother's talent for making the person she was with at any given time feel special. But as I followed her routine of walking around Slayton on a snowy, slushy afternoon 2 days ago, albeit at a much slower pace than she would have set, this eulogy wrote itself in my head, and I felt like maybe I actually was meant to comply with her request. My mother had many wonderful qualities, but by reading the many cards sent by her wide network of friends these last few months, I found it easy to focus on two recurring themes. Maxine's key to life was to stay active and to extend hospitality and kindness to all she met. Mom had more pep than the Energizer Bunny. Her addiction to walking is well known, and so many in Slayton have come to me and said, "Your mom always walked by my house." It seemed as though she walked 2 miles every day of her life, but it really started in the 80s as therapy for my father after his stroke. Just walk to the next lamppost, Bob. Now to the stop sign. Now to the next block. She started walking as his unsung trainer, but the health benefits she reaped kept her in remarkable shape for 92 years. In addition to physical activity, she kept mentally and socially active as well. She read newspapers and books and got most of the family hooked on solving the jumble each day. A comprehensive list of her social activities would be too extensive for the time constraints of this eulogy. But suffice it to say, there was rarely a band concert, parade, play, ice cream social, bridge club, Bible study, quilt sale, or pancake breakfast that she would miss. Ask her to go anywhere, and the answer was always an unhesitant yes. Boredom was not in her lexicon. Her roots were deeply in Murray County, but her wings took her on travels to 48 states, the South Pacific, Asia, and Europe numerous times. And whether she was on a bus trip to Worthington or embarking on a trip to another continent, she had a blast everywhere she went. In Jamaica, she and I went on a cool runnings cruise. On the way back to port, the tour slipped into party mode. I left her to go photograph the younger crowd at the front of the catamaran, dancing and doing the limbo. I started to feel guilty about leaving Mom by herself when I suddenly spied her going by me in the conga line. Mom was no wallflower. Her outgoing nature and innate hospitality made everyone she met like her. I believe that had she needed a job, her ideal career would have been as a greeter at Disneyland, because her persistently positive attitude made everywhere she went truly the happiest place on earth. She remained loyally close to friends from long ago, but thoroughly enjoyed making new friends of all ages everywhere she went. It was a rare talent, and it certainly kept her spirit young. So many of you said that my mother was a great role model, and I could not argue with that. What really motivated me to give this eulogy is to encourage you to truly celebrate her life by going for a walk today. It doesn't have to be for 2 miles or even outside. She may do this winter by taking laps around the dining room table. Just take some steps and think of Maxine. Then tomorrow, take a few more steps and maybe reach the next lamppost and reach your next milestone. Honor her by waving at your neighbor, smiling at a stranger, or taking the time to get up and greet those sitting across the room. If she could join the hospital auxiliary for the first time in her late 80s, What new endeavor could you and I tackle this year to expand our horizons, contribute to our communities, and meet new friends? Mom herself would never ask these things of anybody. She was much too kind and polite. But if each of us could take up the challenge to follow her example in some small way, the void she leaves might not be so vast, and the world would surely be a better place.